Donald Trump's plans for the evening just took a serious hit. Canada's Prime Minister dropped a sharp, no-holds-barred statement at the World Economic Forum that's sending shockwaves through the room. I'm Poppy, and this is the latest from Poppy Report. If you want to catch more updates on Trump facing tough resistance from leaders at home and overseas, make sure to hit subscribe right now so you stay in the loop. Let's kick things off with the strong applause coming Mark Carney's way after his standout address. Observers are hailing it as a clear display of confident global direction, and Canada is earning serious respect for stepping forward boldly when many stay silent. One reaction captured the mood perfectly. This shows real leadership on the world stage. Canada should feel proud for pushing back hard against pressure others won't touch. Another person put it sharply. Carney walked into Davos and delivered a message that rang out loud and clear, like a turning point everyone needed to hear, and plenty of Canadians are standing taller because of it. A different take nailed the bigger picture. After so much pushing, threats, and discomfort aimed at other leaders, some are finally drawing a line and refusing to back down. And one more summed it up directly. Carney stepped up with composure and dismantled the narrow, self-serving moves that have been chipping away at the global framework, while locking in Canada's unwavering support for Greenland, Denmark, and our close partners. The time when one side could call all the shots without pushback seems to be fading fast. Now let's get into the core of what he said. Carney described how Canada is adopting a smart, adaptable strategy, building different teams for different challenges based on shared principles and real common ground. On Ukraine, for example, we're right in the middle of the group fully committed to helping, and we rank high among nations in terms of aid per person for their defense and stability needs. When it comes to Arctic control, Canada stands shoulder to shoulder with Greenland and Denmark, completely backing their right to decide Greenland's own direction without outside interference. Our promise under NATO's Article 5 stays absolute and unchanged. That's driving our close teamwork with NATO partners, especially the Nordic and Baltic nations, to strengthen defenses on the alliance's northern and western sides. This includes Canada's major new steps forward: cutting-edge over-the-horizon radar, new submarine capabilities, advanced aircraft, and personnel positioned exactly where they count, even in the harshest icy conditions. Canada is clearly against any tariffs targeting Greenland. We push instead for serious, targeted discussions that can deliver real security and growth for everyone in the Arctic region. Carney then brought in a strong historical parallel to show what happens when nations feel squeezed into submission by a bigger force. He pulled from experiences under communist rule to highlight the trap of giving in to constant pressure. We're seeing daily reminders that we're back in a time of raw competition between major powers, where the old system of shared rules is breaking down, and the big players grab what they want while smaller ones are left to take the consequences. This tough outlook gets presented as the natural way things must go in global relations. Too often, countries respond by bending to fit in, making deals to stay safe, dodging conflict, and betting that quiet agreement will protect them. But that path doesn't bring true security. What real choices exist then? He pointed to Václav Havel's 1978 essay, The Power of the Powerless, written by the Czech dissident who later became president. Havel asked a straightforward question: how did those communist systems keep going? He began with the story of a regular greengrocer. Every day, the shop owner puts a sign in his window saying, "Workers of the world, unite." He has zero faith in the slogan, no one does. But he puts it up anyway to avoid problems, to show he's cooperating, to blend in. Since every shop owner does it, the whole setup endures. Not just from force, but from ordinary people keeping up the act. Havel labeled this living within the lie. The system's grip doesn't rely on real belief. It lasts because so many play along as if it's true. Yet that same widespread pretense is its weak point. If just one person stops, if the greengrocer pulls down the sign, the whole illusion starts to fall apart. The call is direct. Now is the moment for companies, institutions, and countries to drop those signs and stop pretending the pressure is normal. After 4 decades of similar strains, this feels like a major challenge to the status quo. When you hear talk of great powers in the speech, it's plain he's addressing the tactics coming from Donald Trump and his team. Carney stated it clearly: this isn't some gradual change, we're facing a real break. The past 20 years brought crisis after crisis in finance, health, energy, and international stability, showing the dangers of too much global connection. Lately, dominant forces have flipped that connection into a weapon, using tariffs for pressure, financial tools for control, and supply chains as leverage points to exploit. You can't keep acting like closer ties always mean win-win when they turn into chains that limit your freedom. For mid-sized nations like Canada, the question isn't if we adjust, we must. It's whether we just build walls higher or aim for something smarter and more proactive. Canada caught the signal early and made big changes to our overall approach. We once counted on our location and alliances to deliver automatic safety and success. Those old ideas no longer work. Our current path follows what Finland's president calls value-based realism, sticking to core beliefs while handling practical realities. We stay committed to basics like sovereignty, border respect, no force unless it fits UN guidelines, and human rights protection. But we also know progress comes gradually. Interests don't always align, and not every ally shares every value. So we're connecting widely and strategically with clear vision. We deal with the world as it exists, not as we hope it might become. We shape ties so their strength matches our principles, and we build broad links to boost our voice, especially in this uncertain time with high risks and big stakes ahead. We're moving beyond just the power of our ideals. We're building real strength to support them. In his closing points, Carney stressed the dangers of exposure to coercion and the urgent need to cut off those leverage points. Both point straight at the challenges from Trump. He made it clear we have to name the issue honestly, though he didn't say the name outright. Some felt that was a chance left on the table. Even so, the speech landed powerfully, much like Emmanuel Macron's earlier messages. Carney applied consistent, unmistakable pressure without needing to name anyone directly. Together, these signals suggest a solid group of nations forming up to counter disruptive moves from our erratic neighbor to the south. Few things bring people or entire countries together faster than dealing with a shared problem from someone who's tough to handle.